Grace, it's turkey week.
Turkey week.
Do you eat the turkey?
Yeah, if somebody else cooks it.
Oh, wow. All right. Thanksgiving is here. It's, 3 days away?
Something like that, yeah.
Man, this time of year for me is the fastest time of year out of all the times of the year.
You're at the front of the pack when it comes to Turkey Week.
When it comes to the days flying by.
Yeah, okay.
I think, yeah. Mostly because of hunting season and just the holidays and just the ga-ness. I don't know. It just goes really fast. Before you know it, it's New Year's Day and it's all over.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to start the show, or you drinking tea there? What do you got?
I'm drinking some decaf coffee.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get to where I need to be here. And are you ready?
I'm waiting with bated breath. I'm ready to go.
All right. This past week, we have made some Eastern States runners wait and anticipate, which has been really great. Now let's spill some beans on episode 38.
Woo!
I'm Eric, Idiot Runner Kosek.
And I'm Grace, Hot Pants Langheim. Eric is all business in the front of the pack, and I am all about the party in the back.
That's right, business up front and party in the back. Together, we are the Running Mullet.
And we are going to talk about every aspect of running, the podium to the DNF and everything in between.
If you are a runner, this show is for you. Now sit back, get out your foam roller, and enjoy the party. Oh, it didn't cut me out that time. Thank goodness. Yeah. Hey, look, I got a surprise for you. I need to show you and the rest of the viewers that are watching my butt.
I can't wait to see your butt.
Yeah, let's see what we can do here. Do you see that, Grace?
I see a little bit of it. I don't know. Keep it there for a minute.
Yeah, that's what you're seeing there, Grace, is Idiot Runner sweatpants. And I got boxes of them in my living room. Yeah. So if anybody is watching and needs a pair, they're available. You just got to go find them on the idiotrunner.com thing.
Yeah, if you need to cover your butt. I think they're handy in the wintertime. I was just talking to a newish runner about this. When you're done running in the cold, you got to take off all the cold gear. You got to get into some cozies.
Yeah. Yeah, and they are cozy. I mean, I totally forgot about the whole pocket thing. I forgot to look for the different ones that had pockets.
You got sweatpants without pockets?
It's not.
Who are you? What is wrong with your brain?
All right, just let it go. Let it go. Let's get by that. And they are very comfortable and soft, though. I've been wearing them as my daily evening wear since I've gotten them.
All right. Well, that's just another reason to wear a fanny pack. So
hey, and before we go any farther, do you see this noggin cover I got on here?
Yeah. How come it's not on my noggin?
I know it's gonna come to you, Grace. You already made a scene last episode. There's more coming. There's 25 of these coming. Exact same ones, reflective, orange, because it's hunting season. They're the warmest, fleece lined on the inside.
Alrighty. How was your weekend?
Okay, you're really cutting me off.
I didn't know we were on QVC.
I'm done now.
I didn't know this was QVC.
Oh man, don't even ask me how my weekend was, because I could go probably on and on about my weekend. It was not running related, but it was probably one of the happiest days of my life, because I'm a big hunter, and Lauren and I managed to get a bear together, which for those of people that hunt on public property and things like that, they understand how hard of a thing that is. So very special day for me. Very cool. Very cool.
Awesome.
Yep. I did 0 running. My weekly mileages are insanely low right now, but this is the one time of year that priorities, hunting it takes priority over running. And I feel like it's a good thing for me, because it kind of gives me a break from running.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but really good weekend. And It just makes me smile. What about you? What'd you do?
Did a little bit of running. I love taking people to trails that they've never been to. And so I got to take my friend Tori, who's new to trail running.
I've heard about Tori.
Yeah, and I got to take her to Uri Overlook, and it's a beautiful section overlooking the Susquehanna River in Pennsylvania. So that was a lot of fun. And then went bike riding with Jason. It's his birthday today. So we had a good little birthday weekend. It was fun.
Happy birthday, Jason.
Yeah.
What did Jason get for his birthday? Anything?
Yeah, he got a big prize. He got it early. So for the weekend, we just we did dinner and a show, but he got a mountain bike earlier this year. Yeah, so that was kind of a biggie kind of birthday Christmas big.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So we got it earlier this year so that we could play on our mountain bikes for the rest of the season, which we did, and we got to take them out this weekend too.
Cool. So what does your Thanksgiving day, since I probably won't even talk to you till after Thanksgiving at this point, what does that entail for you basically?
Going over to the in-laws. I don't have any family here in Pennsylvania, so I head over to the in-laws, and Jason's mom's boyfriend, Bob, is a phenomenal cook. He does big barbecues for like weddings and stuff like that. So he will cook no less than probably 4 or 5 meats.
Holy moly.
Some of it he probably killed himself and smoked himself. So nice. He's got a 5-car garage that he turned into a kitchen. And
wow.
He's got a smokehouse, and we go over there, and there's probably like 10 of us, and he'll make so much food, but it's really good. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Are you doing any kind of turkey trotting of any sorts?
Yes, this is the 4th or 5th annual. I think it's the 5th annual Wild and Hot Turkey Trot, which is me and a couple of my friends. We do a shot of Fireball, and then we run a 5K in the woods, and we quote unquote run. We stop a lot for photos, and it's at the same time as the turkey trot. So anybody who doesn't want the crowds of the turkey trot can come to the Wild and Hot Turkey Trot with me. And
very nice.
That's what we do. It's fun.
Very, very nice. All right. One last housekeeping thing. I have to give a shout out to Johnstown Running Club. They have a live watch party going on right now. Stephanie Daniels organized. So we're getting, I think we're big time at this point.
Wait. Can you rewind and sound excited about that?
I'm super excited.
You were like, this is Steph Daniels. This is a watch party. So I'm going to give a shout out. Good job, guys.
Oh, now she's going to make fun of me. Here we go.
This is the show.
Yeah.
All right.
What are we talking about?
We're going to have on my good friend Jade. Friend Jade. We're going to have on Jade. Let's bring her on.
I hope there is some human beings watching this show right now that possibly are thinking about in the future maybe signing up for the Eastern States 100-mile race this August, because we have some good little nuggets for them. But yeah, we're not giving them out. We're going to make them watch the whole show. That's how this stuff works.
That's right. First, I have a story to tell, and a lot of people have heard this story before, and I'm going to tell it anyway, because now I get to tell it with you, Jade. Yeah. And it's how we met.
Okay.
Yep. This is one of my favorite stories. So there are a few people, and you probably have this too, Eric. There are a few people who like shaped how I think about trail running and what I love about trail running. There are a couple of people who I met on my journey that was like, oh, that's what this is all about. And Jade was probably the second person who really just had this huge influence on how I felt about the whole trail scene and ultras and all that. So I signed up for the World's End 50K, which is in Pennsylvania. Beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous race. And I was supposed to, although I had run races and I got into running by myself, when it came to trail races and ultras, a lot of times I would at least know one other person who was in it. I can't say that for my first one, but I was supposed to go up to World's End with a friend, and she had something come up at the last minute. And I was like, okay, I'm going to drive 3 hours away, go to this, Super 8 motel by myself and go to this race. I don't know the course. I don't know anything about it. I'm going to do it anyway. And so I went, and it is just the coolest vibe, and I'm having a blast, and I'm, probably went out a little bit too fast. And I'm going along, and it was coming into Soane's Pond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a little bit before that. Yep.
Yeah, a little bit before Soane's Pond. There is a runner ahead of me, and the runner is sitting down on a log, and you kind of slow down and say, hey, you okay? And usually they're like, yeah, I'm totally fine, and you just keep on running. And this person was like, no, I'm not okay. And I stop in my tracks. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And later on we found out that runner had dislocated her elbow, right?
Elbow. Oh, so gross. Yeah. Sorry, Deb.
So
that was gross.
Yeah, her name's Deb, and she's awesome person too. So yeah. I stop, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's take care of you, make sure you're okay. And Jade is right behind me. She stops, and she's like, hey, she sees something going on, and she's like, okay, I'm here to help. And we start talking to Deb, trying to make sure she's okay. We're like, okay, you can either walk to the next aid station or we can backtrack to the intersection. I don't even know what intersection that was.
I don't know. We ended up going forward to an intersection. Yeah.
Did we go forward? Okay.
Yeah, going forward to an intersection. It was before, like you cross the road and then you continue on to Stone's Point. So we were at that, whatever crossing that is. I don't know. I'm directionally challenged, but.
We got up to an intersection. Yeah, and we told these runners, like, hey, can you go? Deb was like, I can't get to the next intersection, the next aid station. This is terrible. She's in so much pain. So we send runners ahead. We're like, can you go get help? And because of the roads way back there, I mean, it takes a while for somebody to come along. And I think we were stopped for a little over an hour. Yeah. We
were cold. I know that.
Yeah, we stopped and waited for a little over an hour. So I'm there, Jade's there, Deb's there. Help comes along, and Jade's like, I've done this race before. She doesn't have any family or friends here. She's from Michigan. So am I. And then, isn't she from Michigan?
No.
I think so. Where's she from?
Where's from? Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area.
Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area. Oh.
Close, Grace. Real close.
Anyway.
I mean,
super close. They're like right next to each
other.
Very similar. So anyway, well, she's like, I'm going to drop and I'm going to go with her to the hospital. And in my brain, I had only seen a couple of trail races before. For the most part, you see road races. And in road races, I mean, somebody's hurt. You like jump over them and keep going. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there's plenty of people who would stop in a road race as well. But it's, for the most part, they rely on roaming medics to take care of people, right? And she just is like, yeah, I'm going to drop out of a 50K that I paid for and go take care of somebody else so that they have company. And that just, I'm like, this is an amazing sport. And she's like, yeah, you go on ahead. You've never done this before. You go. And I tell you what, it just it did something for me. And I remember leaving that aid station and throwing, at this point, I think second to last. Because we were there for a while. I'm like second to last. But I'm like, I should be okay. Because at this point, I'm so new to ultras that I don't understand that there is such a thing as a cutoff or sweepers. I didn't totally understand that I could get cut. So I throw on my headphones, I put on some Kelly 47, and I just start flying through the woods. I get to the last aid station. I'm one of the last people there. And they're like, what do you need? I said, give me a beer and bacon and the top off of water. And they were like, we got you. And gave me a big old hug, and I slammed a beer and I ate some bacon off the plate and I had a little bit of water. I start running downhill. Probably shouldn't have had the entire beer. I come into that finish line and it was just like the coolest experience. And that's the kind of experience that I like. Everybody should have something like that in trail running. So that's how I met Jade. Is that how you remember it, Jade?
Yes. Yes. I want the Michigan part. Yeah. But yeah, no, I do. It was, that was a period of time for me that it seemed like, I think that's when I was like, I have to stop running ultras for a while, because it seemed like every race I ran, something bad happened to somebody around me. So I was starting to take it personally. So it was really bizarre.
You're worried you were the bad luck or something. Huh?
I really was. There was like this dark cloud, and I
well, in my head, you were this little angel who just came along to help people and teach them how to be good stewards of the trail.
Oh, well, I appreciate that, because
yeah, and I think it's definitely important to point that out. Like she did what I hope I would think a lot of our trail runner friends would do in that situation, but it also fell off on you, Grace. It made an impression on you, and she probably didn't even realize it, and probably other people that have somewhat of a similar story. So, one small act of kindness affects more people than you think, especially in this running community.
Yeah, it was, I appreciate that. And I know, and kind of from that day forward, I just loved Grace and all of that. So, and then, like I said, Deb was supposed to run with me this last week and got sick. So we didn't even know that up front, but we've been trying to run together ever since that. And I don't even know what year was that?
Oh, 2017 or 2018.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So, and Deb and I have been trying to run a race since then, a couple of different times. We just can't wait. So.
Yeah, and so you just ran a 50 miler.
I did. I ran my very first 50 miler.
Stone Mill 50. So tell me about Stone Mill 50, because I don't know much about it.
Stone Mill 50 is actually a really great race. Part of the appeal to it is it's cheap. It's like $60 and you get to run a 50 miler, unlike JFK that was just this past weekend. It's crazy expensive. So
right.
But yeah, it's a great course. Probably the hardest part about the course is it's very runnable, most of it. So unlike here, and here, I mean, I live where, Eastern States is born. So me finding trails that I could train on was a challenge, but the course itself is really great. It's kind of weird in some ways because it's basically urban trails. It's right outside of DC. So you're on trails and you're technically in the woods, but sometimes you're running through somebody's backyard. And you hit it, you pop up and there's a Starbucks and you're on the road for 2 miles and then you cruise back down into the woods. So it's kind of cool. Like you're always, for the most part, you're in the woods, but you're stone's throw away from civilization too, which is not what we get around here at all. So the aid stations were great. It was cool. I had my Eastern States hat on and, people would recognize you at the aid station. Like, hey, that's cool that you've done that race. And I'm like, no, I've not done that race, but I have a little bit to do with it. So yeah. So just a really, really good course. Very well run.
Is it a single loop, double loop?
It's a single. It's one big loop. Oh,
wow. That's impressive.
Yeah. Right, it's got about 6,400 feet of gain through the whole 50 miles. So it's like I said, it's really runnable. It's some nice trails. I call them very airplaneable trails. So airplane, there's a lot of this going on.
Yeah.
So, it was great. I had a blast. It was so super fun. And that's all I wanted out of it, is for it to be fun.
You had an amazing crew. Ben was supposed to be on with you tonight to talk a little bit about that race and Eastern States, but he had something come up, so he can't make it. But looking back at it, do you think you could have done as well as you did without the crew for this race?
No, they were really super great, and I'm sad that Ben's off doing whatever it is Ben does tonight. Because Ben's basically a professional crew person, and I really think he's that way because then he can seek out every brewery around whatever course possible. So they were really, really great to have. So going into it, they asked me, because I could have had a pacer, but I opted not to. And Patrick especially asked me, what do you want my role to be here? Because I know that he would have paced me if I had asked him to, or my brother would have. My brother was there with me too. And I said, this is something that I feel like I need to do on my own, but I need to be able to see you guys. Mm-hmm. And they did everything I asked. I mean, they got me in and out of aid stations. They were, I won't say mean, but they were bossy with me when they felt they needed.
Good.
Gosh, I'm so tired of being bossed around by Ben all the time.
Yeah, and it's a good time to mention, if you don't follow both Jade and Ben on Facebook to watch their memes going back and forth, you are missing out, because it just brightens my day every day.
Yes. We have a good brother-sister rapport going on. So I take a lot of heat from these guys. So I try to take it well, but sometimes
it's fun.
It might hurt my feeling. I don't know. No, they honestly, they were awesome. They really, it wouldn't have been the same experience. I won't say I couldn't have done it if they weren't there, but I definitely wouldn't have had the same experience if they weren't there.
Yeah.
So it was super important that I have them there. All three of those guys in some way have played a very important part in not only ultra running as a whole for me, but in the journey that I've had personally this year. They have all three played a very important role in that. And for me, I needed them there. They needed to be there with me for that. So,
yeah. Your crew in life and on the trails, right?
They are. I couldn't ask for a better stranger pack of weirdos.
It's been great to be friends over these past few years and kind of, watch you weather storms and rock tumble through it and just come out like a champ, and then decide, well, I'm going to go run a 50 miler and jump straight back into it. So it's been really inspirational, because life happens for people, and sometimes life happens and you can sometimes you got to take some time and just like be in it, and you can get stuck there, or you can come back out the other side when you're ready. And it's been great to see you back out on the trail. So
thank you. You know what? I have this tattoo that I got this year that says "Feel it to heal it," and it's really important to me, because you have to get through those feelings to get through the healing. And I refuse to camp out, and we all have ups and downs, and I refuse to camp out there. And also, I have 2 kids, so my son, who is very important to me, is 16, but I'm also have a 20-year-old daughter, and she needs to see that she has a mom who can accomplish whatever, no matter what happens. And it's kind of my role in her life at this point, is that's what I'm there for. I'm there to be her friend and her coach, and make sure that no matter how hard things get, you can change your mindset. You can get out of that headspace, and it's really up to you to do it. So
yeah, you can't prevent hard things from happening to you to begin with. And I think that's really the lesson, is you can't hide away and say, well, if I just don't ever get close to anybody, and then nothing bad will ever happen in my life. You got to have close relationships, and sometimes, and so the other side of that means that there's going to be pain, and that's okay. And you can come back out the other side. So it's excited for you, and just think, again, you're just this little shining example of light in my life, and I love it.
Oh, I love you, Grace. Great.
Okay.
Break it up. I love you too. Although you do freak me out with the baby beard.
With the what, baby beard? You said you're good. Now you're saying it freaks you out. I don't know what to do.
I do. It does look good, but it's just so odd to talk to you, because
I know.
How many years were you growing that? And every conversation we have, there's this weird.
I know.
Now he has a round little face.
I know. He's very.
It's like a dwarf little thing. Something's wrong with me. I don't know. All right, back to you, Jade. So you just ran the 50 miler, and you're feeling good. You came out of it feeling good, no injuries or anything. So what's next on your plate?
Well, so I'm going to change gears a little bit and go to something probably a little more technical, a little closer to home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like, is the registration coming up soon?
It's not my own race. I'll tell you that.
I know.
No, I am my plan. I was going to say my hope, and anybody who knows me would know that I would yell at somebody for saying hope, because hope is not a strategy. My plan is to do World's End 100K.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that.
That's what I was kind of insinuating. Cool.
I did that, the year that I did the 50K before the year that that Deb crashed and broke herself. I did the 50K and finished it and came across the finish line and said, that was so fun. I should have done the 100K. Well, I really haven't, life happens, and I really didn't get back around to it. So now it's time.
Yeah.
So now I'm just going to go run up and down mountains for the next 6 months and try to like it, because I really hate technical climbing.
That's pretty much a perfect plan for training for World's End, honestly.
Yeah. I think getting time on the course is one of the best trainings for that race. If you need company, you let me know and I will be there.
Yeah, 100% want company. And I'm lucky in that I do live in basically at the foothills of the Eastern States course. So I can go run up and down the Dam Run climb all day long. And that's my least favorite climb on the Eastern States course. I'm going to learn to love it.
Yeah, you will. I'm happy to run either course in practice. I will do training runs on either one. That is super exciting. And a World's End 100K is a very difficult 100K. It is the most, if you don't know about it through word of mouth and you only know about it by looking at the course and the elevation gain, you will be very surprised on race day. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to at race day, like during running, and they're like, I made a big mistake. I've heard that comment many times. If you know what you're getting into, a lot of times you're fine, but for some people they're fine. And then there's people like me who just DNF it over and over. But if you don't know what you're getting into, it's hard.
Strong. Yeah, that year I paced you. You were super strong.
Yeah. I got close.
I sense a pattern of sorts, I guess I would say. I mean, you did the World's End 50K was a couple of years ago, and you helped out a runner. I get that. And then you did the 50. Did Stone Mill 50 miler. Now we're doing World's End 100K. I feel like there's definitely if we drew this on a piece of paper, there'd be a pattern going up. Okay, I don't know how else to put that. I wonder where that peak is.
I wonder too. You might just have to wonder for a while.
I guess the running mullet crowd will have to wonder for a while. That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
I have always said so. Okay, so here's what I will say about Eastern States. So many people have asked me, of course, being a race director, they say, "Oh, of course you've run this." I'm like, no, I'm crazy. I've run every part of the Eastern States course, just not all at once.
Right.
That's my canned response. And I will say, no, I'll never do it. Now I say not yet. So that is my standard response right now. Not yet.
That's a big step.
Is not my year to do that.
No, I wasn't insinuating it was going to be this year. And, there's no reason to race stuff, especially when it gets that big to, rush stuff, I should say, not race stuff. But
no, and probably when I do it, nobody will probably know. I'll just show up on race day and run. So.
Well, you kind of have to show up either way, being.
I know. So I'm there no matter what. It's just a matter if I throw my pack on when the clock winds down to 5 a.m.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready to talk about a little bit of Eastern States for the?
How do you want to talk about Eastern States? Hold on.
Not. Don't go spilling any beans yet. Easy. We're gonna ease into
put
it.
my hat on.
Okay. Oh yeah. Please put your hat on.
More bossy men in my life. There we go.
All right. So the biggest news as of yet this year for Eastern States, from how I feel, is that you don't need a qualifier anymore. Correct?
Yeah, correct.
So that's going to possibly expedite registration numbers pretty quick. I think there's a good chance we might see the numbers fill up, hopefully a little faster, because of that, not having to worry about that.
Well, we still should worry about it. So I do want to. Can I talk about that for a minute?
I want to talk about it. You go first. I can't wait.
Okay, so listen. The elimination of the qualifying standard does not mean that the course is any different.
Yep.
So we are just trusting that people will police themselves rather than Ben and I having to go through all of the registrations and picking out the people that don't qualify and kicking them out. Right. Or having to field the landslide of emails that come in that say, well, I ran, a road marathon or whatever. I mean, some are legitimate and some are really reaching and bizarre. So we're just letting people decide for themselves, but it still needs to be a well thought out decision. This is not a freshman. This isn't Eastern States 101. This is a graduate level course.
Yep.
And it needs to be treated as such.
Yeah.
It's a good way to put it.
I was excited to see this. And one of the reasons why is because, there were kind of two pieces that I thought of instantly. And because I've personally dabbled, and then also like I watch a lot of people who do FKTs. FKTs are not a race and they don't count as qualifiers. And I have seen people do incredibly difficult FKTs thinking, oh my gosh, that's harder than X race. Jordan Copenhaver is a good example where he does a lot of solo stuff out on the trail. But somebody like him has to go out and find a race to qualify when he's done more difficult stuff. And then the other piece of it, personally, that I think about is the cost factor. So when really all you want to do is run Eastern States, you have to spend all this additional money on another race, potentially more than one, to qualify, just so that you can get into. So the one race ends up the cost of two races because you have to qualify for it. And I think about the cost partially because over here more so on the East Coast, and especially there are little pockets of trail running communities where there are a lot of fat ass runs. And down here in South Central Pennsylvania, we have some very, very low cost races, and we kind of keep it that way. We don't, they're also not a ton of swag or anything like that. Like you get what you pay for. And so there's some low cost races around here. We kind of like it that way. And when you start talking about, well, you got to pay this money for this race, and then you got to do another thing and another thing, it's like, well, now we're just eliminating part of the crowd who, for whatever reason, maybe, by choice. I know super awesome people who just like to keep their costs low, just because that's their lifestyle, right? Not that they can't afford it or anything like that, but that's their lifestyle, is not to spend extra money. And so I thought for the price, as well as just because racing isn't all there is out there. There's a lot of other very difficult things you can do that can prepare you for something like Eastern States. So I thought it was a good move.
Exactly. I mean, you really hit the nail on the head there. Cost was something that came into play with us. And, we don't want people to have to spend more money than they need to. And there are a lot of people that have done more difficult things. I mean, that should qualify for it, but because they didn't have an actual race, they didn't qualify. is it really up to us to say? So we are trusting that everyone takes their grown adult status seriously and decides from there if they are capable of, completing. Because we all know that even the most prepared runner, the most experienced runner, it might not be their day. And we've all seen it on this very course.
Oh my gosh. And I think Steve Larrick at World's End, he's a very strong runner, and he just tree in the face and gets stitches. What was it, mile 2?
Yeah, something like that.
Sometimes it's just not your day. Killian Jornet steps on a bee and gets a bee sting and has to pull himself from UTMB. And it was mile 20 when that happened. The best ultra runners in the world, sometimes it's just not their day. But it can not be your day on the day of your qualifying race. And then you have to do another one. I don't know.
Right.
I just think it's a good move. And on top of that, there was a race director who had made the decision to stop doing deferrals and transfers. And one of the reasons why, he was like, look, I do this for free. I make no money off of this, and it's mostly just me. And honestly, I don't have the time for that much administration of this thing, because it sells out every year and it's 450 runners. And he's like, I just can't do it anymore. So I'm not going to do deferrals and transfers. And at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, that's a good point. It's stuff we don't think about,
Yeah, we don't do deferrals for that very reason. It's a bookkeeping nightmare, so we don't do that either. We did during the pandemic. We gave that option, but that is not something that you're going to get. Now, I mean, we do have a couple of valid reasons that you can get a deferral. Somebody's deployed or has baby.
Right.
There are reasons, obviously, that we allow it, but in general, no.
All right. So any other big updates that you can think of?
I think people want to know when registration opens, but I'm going to hang on to that one first.
The river.
Well, you're keeping they're keeping the river crossing.
That's the thing, and I'm asking. I'm not asking. It better be there, because I'm planning on being the captain for that aid station again, and so
what if
that is thing, right?
Well, wait, before
the creek crossing, it's a creek.
It's a creek. So what if, Jade, what if I volunteered to be the aid station captain for that aid station right now, and you had to pick between us? Would you pick me or would you pick Eric?
Well, here's the thing. I don't have to decide, because the returning captain takes priorities.
Oh,
I don't have to make that decision, and I'm glad that you didn't.
Yeah.
Could I have a cooler job title than Eric?
Yeah. How about volunteer? Just volunteer. That's the other thing, is
assistant to the race director.
What she is saying.
Assistant to the assistant race director.
Yeah.
What Jade is saying, and because I've seen it, and I'm no race director, is once you have somebody willing to volunteer and help at an aid station or run an aid station, you want to do everything you can to, hopefully they want, keep them at that spot.
That's fair.
For anybody listening that is not going to sign up whenever Eastern States registration may be, I would say, for me as a captain, please help out at the aid stations, whether it's mine or another one, because the experience you get is right up there with running the race, if not better, because you see everybody. When you're running the race, you maybe talk with a couple people while you're running, other runners, and you see the aid stations as you go through them and by them. But being at an aid station, you see the tears, you see the laughter, you see the crew helping every runner, and you get to help every runner by being a volunteer. So that's my sales pitch for volunteering for a race such as Eastern States. Is you're a very important part of it, but it's amazing to be a part of it.
And we love it. I mean, the volunteers are are absolutely my favorite. And my favorite among the volunteers are the kids that volunteer, because they're just little, they're just little trail runners in the making. And it's such an amazing opportunity for them to see, just the grit and what you can do when you put your mind to it. And again, like that's exactly the reason that we do these things, right? Is because we want to perpetuate this to the next generation. And that's our future trail runners. They're our future ultra runners. And we love to show them the positive side of, like, this is community. This is community at its best. And
there's no better place to be that weekend, whether you are pacing, crewing. There is a separate Facebook page for people who are interested in pacing. If you don't know someone personally who's running it and you want to pace it, it's a great way to get some experience on the course on race day. And there is a Facebook group for that. So you can pace it, you can crew it, you can volunteer it. And there is nowhere else I ever want to be that weekend. It is so much fun.
It is. And we also, if you're, in the area, if you're doing training runs or whatever, we also need people in the weeks leading up to that. I mean, we have 103 miles of trail to maintain, and it takes a huge, huge staff of people to do those things. So, and we've got flagging to do. When you think about that, it's 103 miles of trail to flag, to make sure that it's marked correctly, to make sure the signage is put up so that people don't take our flags down. And then there's the cleanup the week after. So our cleaning crew does a great job of coming in behind the sweepers and cleaning, but then we still have to go back out and inspect the work. So there are so many pieces of the puzzle that have to fall into place here. And, it seems kind of seamless on race day, at least we hope it does. But there's so many people, and this is truly a team. Ben and I are race directors, but it's kind of an odd title to have because every single part of this race team brings something special to the table, and they bring some kind of talent that they just naturally fill a piece of the puzzle, and we just wouldn't be able to do what we do without them. So, I see Steve come up and say, we need medical volunteers. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, Steve's our medical director, so medical coordinator for Eastern States. So yeah, we always need medical volunteers too. And we've really built that team. Steve and Kayla have done a great job of building up our medical team over the last few years. So it's such a cool opportunity for them too. So it's fun. It's definitely fun.
Awesome. Well,
when does the Eastern States happen?
No,
there's something else I'm going to tell you first. So I'll wait. We'll wait on that. But so we've been capped at 250 runners since the start, right? And last year we put into play this solo division because we wanted to see if we could add more people without increasing clutter. Because we know you guys have been at aid stations, you know how insane that can be, especially at a crew pacer station. So this year we have gotten permission to increase our cap to 300 runners. I know.
Wow.
300, but there's just a little trick to this. The extra 50 are our solo division. So it does not add any more to the crew division. We added an extra 50 to the solo division because, as you know, if you guys know this, and anybody who's run a race knows, you can absolutely do this without a crew. Our aid stations take such good care of you, and even if you end up, kind of pairing up with somebody to run with that you don't necessarily need a pacer because you always will find somebody that's running your same pace. And our aid stations will take absolutely great care of you. So it is 100% doable without a crew. So,
and I think, it's interesting you brought up the medical volunteers because I think part of the reason why is because of those medic tents. If your feet need anything at all, you go in there and say, can you just take care of these little dogs right here? And they just, they spiff you up. Like
better than me.
They get you ready to go. So between You know, when you say the aid stations take care of you, I think it's head to toe they take care of you, not just your belly, you know, not just getting your beverages and topping off your water and everything, but they truly take care of you mentally, physically. They have Eric, at your aid station, there's a bonfire pit so you can warm up, get yourself settled. You know, it's I think we're not just talking snacks and water, you know.
Yeah. Well, a giant chunk of our volunteer base, they're ultra runners.
Yeah.
And another chunk of them, they have run Eastern States in some capacity, either running the race as a participant, been a pacer, been crew for something. So there's so much experience at our aid stations. There's
a lot of race directors. Like there's a lot of people.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot of volunteers who are race directors. They do a lot of volunteering, a lot of crewing. I think you're right. That's probably one of the things that makes the aid station so good is there's so much experience at those aid stations, and they know what people need, even if they don't know they need it.
Yeah.
I think for Tomb Flats, I think one of the biggest things that makes it, I would say probably the best one out there, is the hugs that I give, honestly. I mean, if anybody needs a hug, I'll give hugs. So
I think it's the hugs combined with the cheetah shorts.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But will it be different now that the beard's not there?
Maybe I'll wear a fake one or something. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, it might be different. You're right. My hugs will still feel the same, I think.
No, you won't have that tickling going on. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll bring a feather or something.
Don't bring a feather.
All right. When is Eastern States?
Way to make it weird.
Good job.
When's this race happening? Date.
Oh, you want me to tell you now when the race is happening?
Yeah.
It's the second week in August. When is that?
Yeah. Okay, that's good enough. I forgot the date.
It's like the 10th, the 11th, or something like that.
All right. So we meaning Grace and I feel very, I don't know, just happy, I guess, that we are going to announce the big ending to the show being Eastern States news, and that's going to be when registration opens, right?
Are you ready to hear that?
I think we're probably ready for it.
To clarify, the race is August 10th, 2024.
10th and 11th. I had it.
Yes, August 10th and 11th.
And one can register for this race on what date?
Registration opens. Are you ready?
Drum roll.
This Friday at 6 p.m. Black Friday, the day after your Turkey Day. So eat your turkey, take your turkey nap, do whatever crazy shopping you do online. Set your alarm.
This Friday at what time?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Okay.
6 p.m. Not 6 a.m. 6 p.m. Did I say a.m.? No, 6 p.m.
Awesome.
We do expect a sold out because of eliminating the qualifier. We do expect to sell out faster than ever this year. So
I don't know. I mean, you're probably right. It's going to happen, but I'm curious to see how much faster and stuff like that. It might not. I don't know.
It usually takes us a little while just because of one, the qualifier, and two, it's not something that you just do on a whim.
Yeah.
But I'll be interested.
It is something that you do after a drink, though. So.
Yeah. Very true.
My best race decisions have been made while there's a beer in my hand.
Yeah. I speak from experience on that one.
So this Friday at 6 p.m., a lot of people are going to decide their fate on this following year.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see some new faces next year and welcome all the old faces back too. But I'm really excited.
I'm excited to see how many of my athletes sign up for it. And I'm super excited because Ben already said that we could do the finish line again.
That'll be fun. You guys did a great job.
Yeah.
I want to see that keep going.
Yeah, I'm excited to live stream from the finish line, especially now that we've had more experience with it and we can do a better job. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know what you've got Tomb Flats, and then you can join me at the finish line, right, Eric?
Join you at the finish line. The finish line was made up of 90% Eric, and Grace slid in at the end.
I was busy.
Yeah, well, we didn't join you. Okay, I held that finish line live. So how dare you, ma'am?
I was bringing Laura to the finish.
Well, this year
she had an awesome race. Thank you.
We're a team in the running mullet.
I need to be here for this argument. My gosh, it's like if we would have had Ben on here tonight, we wouldn't have gotten anything done.
No.
It would have been Ben and I fighting and you two fighting.
Yeah.
We are my hopes are to hopefully do the Tombs Flats aid station again, and I'm going to hopefully have a live feed from there again. Hopefully it doesn't rain for hours on end, so I can get some good stuff there. And then pack it up and have a live feed at the finish. That live feed at the Eastern States finish line is our, by far has the most viewers of any of our live shows yet. Wow. Mainly because it was like 8 hours long, but we don't need to tell anybody that.
Well, and the crazy part is that we have service now to be able to do that. I mean, how far have we come with our advancing technology that we can have service, we can have satellite, it's nuts to me that, 5 years ago, we wouldn't have even dreamed about it. You wouldn't get a blip of a cell phone signal. And now you guys can live feed from there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And we're getting better all the time. We have more stuff coming. So it's great.
Cool. Well, I'm sure you're going to post the registration and stuff on the Eastern States page very shortly, probably tomorrow or after the show, whatever. But anybody who's watching, I'm sure you can find that information there. But thank you for being on and allowing the Running Mullet to be the show that has announced the registration.
Of course, we love you guys. I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you so much. And I'm sure I'll be seeing you guys soon.
Yeah, congratulations on your 50-miler.
What are you running? Are you running anything this weekend, Jade?
This weekend, I'm probably going to go to Heiner to do the Black Friday.
We'll probably see you there.
Yeah, I'm taking a little bit easy right now, just because I don't really have, I'm just kind of cruising into the new year now. So
yeah. Same here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What about you, Grace? What are you doing this weekend?
Just my wild and hot turkey trot, and then Spring Valley 4-miler, the second race in the York Roadrunners Club Winter Series. So that's all I got.
Cool.
How about you?
I'm doing Adam Kolb's turkey trot in Liberty. It's I think it's the 8th annual gobble turkey trot.
Nice.
On Thursday morning. And then I believe Becky and I think the kids are going to the Heiner Fun Run on Friday, or Black Friday Fun Run.
And then you're kicking off your winter challenge, right?
Yeah, the run, walk, crawl, workout streak starts on Thanksgiving Day. Thank you. Yeah, which we have like 50 or 60 people signed up for that. And that's just basically to keep people motivated through this feeding season that we make ourselves go through of delicious cookies and treats and, just jolly good time all the way through the new year.
Yeah.
It's a good
how
time.
Can people sign up for that?
On our Facebook group page, Grace. Thanks for asking. I don't know what what?
And the other thing I gotta say, I have a new episode of the Mullet Chronicles up from Marine Corps Marathon. Angie Schoonover did a phenomenal race report for her 2023 race, and she also ran it in 2022, and the logistics changed a little bit from year to year. So especially if anybody's interested in like the details of the logistics of it, it's just a really great race report. So that is out already. And then that's part of what I'm going to do this weekend. I'm going to record some episodes of the Mullet Chronicles. I'm excited.
Super.
Yeah.
So you can talk in that nice voice again, put people to sleep.
I can talk like this.
Yeah. Cool.
I can talk however I want to talk.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, yeah, that's my weekend. Buck hunting is this weekend, so I'll be going out and hunting for deer after Friday.
Okay. Sounds fun.
We'll be back Monday with another super duper episode.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks again, Jade, for staying
you.
on. This is your time, and we look forward to seeing you in the near future. Grace, I will see you next Monday.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night.
See you next week. Bye.